This week on the Untold Stories of Nehemiah.
Hi, I'm Chris Baker, and I'm holding a book. And I'm holding a book to give the impression that I can read. That's acting. Nehemiah was a fantastic leader. He was able to share his vision with an entire nation of people, the nation of Israel. But our researchers here at the Untold Stories of Nehemiah found that not all the Israelites were on board with Nehemiah's rebuilding the walls project. Just take a look at Nehemiah's encounter with his general contractor, and I'll get back to reading. Again, acting.
Jim! I told you 1,000 times, if you use the other end of that hammer, it'll work better.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Jedi.
Jedi! These guys!
Hi, I'm Nehemiah.
Oh, hi, Nehemiah. Nice to meet ya.
Yeah, I think we talked on the phone about the available position. The Lord's given me a vision to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem.
Oh, is that so? Let's take a look here at your old application, shall we here? There we go. Yeah, it says here, it's right there, it says here, you're looking for the foreman position. I'm going to be honest with you, this is kind of a big project here you got. And I don't know if a foreman with no experience would be that great of an idea, you know what I mean? So, hey, it's been great to meet you, but, I think we're going to have to go a different direction, okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have references.
Oh, you do you? Let me take a look at those, can I? Looks like the king of Babylon. Hey, look, kiddo, you're not going to believe this, but the other day, the prince of Nigeria wrote me, says he wants to send me some money. Look, buddy, my friends all call me Deadeye. I think it's because I shoot 'em straight. So I'm going to be honest with you. You got no experience. This is a big, big project. So listen up, Mr. Nehemiah Mashed Potatoes or whatever your name is. I know when you woke up this morning, you sharpened your favorite crayon, and you filled out this here application, and you put on your big boy pants, and you came down to old Bob, and you asked for a job. Well, guess what? It ain't happening. So why don't you get on that magic trolley and head back on to the land of make-believe, and hey, while you're there, why don't you tell old King Friday a big hidey-hole from Bob down here at Constructions R Us. If I need something tasted, I'll give you a call. All right, buddy? Oh, goodness gracious. Like I got nothing to do today.
Don't you think we should rebuild the walls of Jerusalem? We're a reproach to our city, and our people are in distress.
Look, my friends all call me Shorty. I think it's because I get right to the point. Take a look around. If it's not burned, it's broken. You can't rebuild the city. We got no resources, much less manpower. I sympathize with you, but what do you want me to do?
God has provided the resources and funding, and I will tell them of how God's hand is good upon me, and what the words of the king have been to me. And the people will rise up, and they will build.
You know what? My buddies, they all call me Old Crazy Bob. I thought it was because I was the life of the party, old wild and crazy Bob. But I'm starting to wonder. Maybe it's because old Bob makes rash decisions on faith, huh? I like you, Nehemiah. Welcome aboard. Let's go take a look at these walls, huh? My buddies all call me Stinky, too, but haven't really figured that one out.
I used to think that cupbearer was a lame job, but his job was to taste the king's wine. This is a pretty sweet gig. A cupbearer would have been one of King Artaxerxes' most trusted servants. This guy partied with the king. In fact, Nehemiah was so close to the king that King Artaxerxes actually started to notice that Nehemiah looked upset. You may think that this is a lame job, But for a foreign servant in Babylon to rise to become one of the most trusted servants to the king is a pretty big deal. Nehemiah was living the dream. He was successful and well respected. But then, one day, Nehemiah's brother comes back from Jerusalem, and they meet at the summer palace of the king. Again, Nehemiah is living the dream. And Hanani shares with Nehemiah how disgraced and troubled the Jews are in Jerusalem. This news interrupts Nehemiah's dream life. Suddenly, Nehemiah's dream life seems a little less dreamy. Maybe the wine tasting seemed a little less important, and the burden in Nehemiah's heart was beginning to show. This week, we want to answer the question, why are we here? As we dig into scriptures to answer this question, as we look at the heart of God and the plans he has for us, a burden, a passion is going to grow in your heart. Nehemiah was confronted with a burden to fix broken walls. God's passion is for fixing broken hearts. As you are confronted with the heart of God, with the burden he has for reaching the lost, caring for the hurting, ministering to the suffering, a vision and purpose for your life will start developing, and you will see that you were uniquely created for such a time as this. Why are you here?
Vision is so very important, and along with vision is looking at what God has given you, what he has gifted you with in order to get to that vision. When Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt, right? And they were coming down, and they got to the Red Sea, and Pharaoh was behind them, and Pharaoh's army was behind them, and then all the Israelites were saying, well, that's just what we're going to do now. You brought us out here, we're going to die. And so Moses went to God and said, God, what am I supposed to do now? And so God said, use what I've given you. What do you have in your hand? And he says, my staff. He says, use your staff. And he did. And he saved the Israelites. He delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. But that's the same thing. You always have to ask yourself, what has God given me in order to make a difference? What has God given me in order to help others, okay? And to build his kingdom here on earth. How I ended up in the parking lot. Back when we were meeting at the Garrett 8 Cinemas, because I had access to the projectors and stuff like that, I was mainly in charge of doing the projector stuff and the visual part of the AV thing, right? All right, so I did that and set up the projector every Sunday morning and went through the ProPresenter, put the slides up on the screen and stuff like that. So when we made the move from where the Garrett 8 Cinemas were to where we're at now here, the sanctuary, the current sanctuary, we had the projector all figured out, and there's guys out there who were much more qualified than I was, and so kind of like I always have to find something to do. I mean, I'm a very I need something to do. Like we all are, right? We're never happiest until we're doing what we're meant to do, right? Pastor Dave asked me to kind of use my drawing skills, my drafting skills to figure out the parking here in the parking lot, to figure out how we're going to get all the cars in. And so I did some sketches, and then, then I was just out there making sure it happened. And that's how I kind of grew into the job that I'm doing now every Sunday morning. It's the whole package too, because I love greeting people, I love seeing the faces, and I see it as a true ministry opportunity, because a lot of times when people come in for the first time, I generally recognize that. It's kind of funny, I'm terrible with names, but if you tell me what kind of car you drive, I know who you are instantly. But I'll see a new car come in and say, this is a new family, right? And so I get the chance to greet them and see where they're from, and then learn a little bit about them and walk in, and I'll usually find Chris or Brandon and say, hey, guys, this new family just in from Utah, and they're looking for a church, and so it's a great way of making that connection. One thing I've learned about what God gives you, it's different during different seasons of your life, right? And so like when we were at the movie theaters, right, God gave me the access to these video projectors, and so I was able to do that. But now, since we have the video projector here permanently installed, He gave me a vision for the parking lot. One of the things that I constantly talk about with the kids in our high school robotics team, 1629 GACO, that Pam and I do through the public school system, is how important it is to have a vision. I'm always telling the kids on the team, we don't do anything unless it supports our vision. I see that in all the ministry opportunities we have here at Crossroads, is having that common vision, and then everything that we do supports that vision. You got to stick to the vision, right? Just like a postage stamp sticks to, if you want to deliver a letter to its destination, which is your vision, that you have to stick that postage, you have to be like that postage stamp, because you stick that stamp on there and it sticks there until it arrives to its final vision, its destination. It's so important.